guys, and welcome back to our videos. Today we're going to be doing a video on the cheapest way of travelling to Disney or Disney holiday. We're going to do one lot about getting a package holiday and another doing the individual travelling, hotel and park tickets. Our family is a family of 7, but we've tried to base it on a more realistic size family, so we're doing it for a family of 4. Now, also I need to include that if you have a child 2 and under, or under the age of 3, they're actually free on travel and hotels and for parks. So if you had 2 children over that, 2 adults plus a child under the age of 3, it would still come to the same price. We will be having to look at our notes because there's quite a lot of information. So hopefully this will be something that you'd be interested in. I do need to just specify that this is for Disneyland Paris. This is all for Disneyland Paris. Also, prices are going to vary at any time, so this is just a rough estimation. So yeah, we're going to start off with individuals, so travel, hotel, and so on and so forth. I'm going to pass you on to Michael. And yeah.
Okay, so we compared prices from different aspects. One from flying. One from taking the Eurostar, which I will say is stopping going to Disneyland Paris in June of this year.
And straight into that station.
Yeah, straight into that station. So there would be a change, which I've accommodated for in the pricing. And obviously, if you was to drive yourself and take the Eurotunnel. So doing the research to try and find the cheapest time to go, we found that the best time would probably be the second week in January to maybe the middle of February. The second half of February is usually half term in France, so it can bump the price up. On doing the research, searching for hotels, we've used sites like Expedia. We found that those are probably the cheapest deals that you can get is on Expedia. You can still get the Disney hotels and the partner hotels through Expedia as well, which I find good.
Cheaper.
And cheaper, yeah. So on searching for going by Eurostar, we didn't find anywhere that you could actually get cheaper tickets. Other than if you was to book well in advance, you may get a cheaper deal. Obviously with pricing and stuff, we'll go through that shortly. With driving through the Eurotunnel, there is no cheaper way of...
With the Eurotunnel, you can get it cheaper, but it has to be on specific days. So you're going to really have to check, because even if it's like midweek, some midweeks are cheaper than others. So that literally just does depend on when you want to go. I don't know if you want to do your travel first, then book the holiday after, or which way you want to go about it. You can get it cheaper, but it is specific days.
Yeah, you know, just for instance, we're going in May, beginning of May. We're just going for the day, and return tickets was £50, so that's not too bad. Obviously during peak times they can get quite expensive, so always double check, and doing it in advance will probably save you quite a bit.
That's pretty much the key to all this. The earlier you can get it done, like the more time you have, I think it's more beneficial for cheaper in general. In the Eurostar, because I don't book these things, he does, does it go off the price of your car, like the size of your car as well? Yeah, Eurotunnel, sorry.
Only if you've got a roof box or you're pulling a trailer, I think they charge a little bit extra. But other than that, it's standard.
Okay. Right, so with the flights, we done a quick comparison, and the cheapest ones we came up with for a family of 4, again, so 2 adults, 2 children, is 550 for returns. Now, that's not a bad price. That's with a budgeting airline. But you've also got to take into account that you're going to have to get transfers from the airport to your hotel.
To your hotel.
So you need to include that into the price as well. And also, if you've got a child 2 and under, they're to sit on your parents' lap, so you don't have to pay for them either.
Yeah, with the transfers, they were all roughly around the same price, but the cheapest we found was €75 each way. So from the airport to your hotel and then return. It didn't matter how many days you went, it was still same price.
And that was flying from UK Gatwick. That's we call our local airport. Obviously, if you're going from Stansted or Luton or all the other airports, it will obviously vary prices again.
You may even get it cheaper.
Yeah, maybe.
So
Eurostar.
Eurostar. Going with the Eurostar. Obviously, you have to get to London St Pancras. That is the only place that you can actually go from now.
We don't live near where we live, about an hour and a half away from London, or 2 hours from St Pancras.
About 2 hours.
So when we went by Eurostar, and we had to get a train. We live right near a train station, but we had to get a train from our town into St Pancras, then to St Pancras and obviously do the whole thing on the way back again. And we're going to give you the prices of from St Pancras to London, but then we had to add another. How much did we pay for our train tickets? This was for 8 of us, though. To be fair,
it was another £450.
Right, so there was 8 of us, and we don't have babies anymore. So we had to add the £480 on top of the Eurostar travel as well. So you might have to, if you're not going to drive, and also if you do drive, actually thinking of that, you're going to have to think about parking and how to pay for parking. These are things that we can't really give you an estimate on because we don't know where you live, if you get what I mean. Like, we can only go from what we do and where we live. It was cheaper for us to get a train than it was for us to park the car.
Yeah. At St Pancras, there is a car park, which I did research on when we went back in February. For 5 days, it was working out about £370. You got to have a certain time of when you can collect the car. It is in secure parking, but yeah, it was a point of we hadn't got a car that was big enough for 8 of us, so it was probably cheaper to actually just take the train.
And as I said before, our youngest is 10, our eldest is 24. So we didn't have the added pressure of having to have prams and like car seats and bags of nappies and what we've been there, but we haven't had to do it on this time. So it's basically what is going to be easiest. Sometimes you've got to weigh the price to the convenience. Sometimes if you can afford to. Anyway, Eurostar. So
Eurostar. Obviously, because the Eurostar is now going straight to Disneyland Paris, you now have to get a train to Lille and then transfer from Lille to Disneyland Paris.
On a normal train.
On a normal train. I think it's called the RER.
I think it's only one stop. So,
I think it's only one stop from Lille straight to Disneyland Paris. But the cost of tickets, return from St Pancras to Lille, came out at £362. So £362. That's return for 4 people, 2 adults, 2 children. And then the transfers from Lille to Disneyland Paris was £35 each way. So another £70 on top. So it's taking your total up to, I don't know, 420-ish, 430-ish for that. But obviously, as we said, you've got to try and get to St Pancras. Obviously, train would probably be easier because they all go direct to there. You can park with the added cost.
I mean, if you've got someone to take you, we even looked at taxis to take us, or like minibuses to take us from here to St Pancras. But at the time, to be fair, when we were trying to book it, it was when the fuel prices were like £2 a litre and over.
Yeah.
So the prices did skyrocket. But even when they came down, we tried doing it again because we couldn't afford to pay that at the time, and they still hadn't come down. So if you can you might be able to get a taxi, or you might have a friend that can take you. That's all your individual circumstances, but we're just going off the basically what we did, or what we was looking into. We didn't say about how much Eurotunnel. So from Monday to Friday seems to be the cheapest, and for your standard car is £143 per vehicle on returns. Obviously that's from Monday to Friday.
Yeah. With Eurotunnel, there are certain times that are cheaper. Generally, I found that before 7 o'clock was cheapest. Yeah, 7 o'clock in the morning was cheapest, and after 10 o'clock at night was cheapest. Throughout the day, sometimes it can vary, but if you was doing the package, you could customize it. It may go up, it may go down.
Right, take into account obviously if that, like, obviously early is cheapest, but then you're going to have to be there to do customs, so you've got to be there an hour earlier.
Yeah. Check-in closes an hour before your train leaves, so you've got to be there, like, I would say at least an hour and a half before your train leaves, so you can actually get in and check in.
So we're going for the day. We've got to get to Folkestone from our home, and we've got to be there. What time's our train leave?
We've got a real early train, so we've got to be there for like 3 o'clock.
So we've got to leave our house at like 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
That's how much we love Disney, guys. That's how much we love Disney. Gonna be a green crackhead, but that's how much we love Disney.
Yeah.
Right, so that is that the travel?
Yeah, so just to recap, flying, we got a price from Gatwick, return was £550. The Eurostar and the transfer of train was what, £430, and then the Eurotunnel was 143. Obviously with Eurotunnel, you've got the added cost of fuel, because you're obviously taking your own car,
which we can't give you a guesstimating on your own. Also transfers to St Pancras where you live, we can't do that for you, and also transfers to the airport.
Oh yeah, and transfers from the airport at Paris was €75 each way.
Well, at the end of this, we will go through how much a whole package would cost, if you get.
Yeah, we'll put it. I'll probably put a screenshot up on the screen.
Prices,
listing everything that we've found and what seems to be the cheapest way
at the moment. This is at the moment.
Yeah, at the current time, and looking at going January 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, hotels.
Right. Obviously, there are many hotels that are around Disneyland Paris. You've got the main 5.
Yeah, the Disney.
5 or 6.
There's 6. You've got Sequoia Lodge, Art of Marvel Hotel, Newport Bay, Cheyenne, Santa Fe, and although it's not open till I think it's next year.
Yeah.
You've got the actual Disney hotel.
Disneyland Hotel.
No, you've got Davy Crockett.
Oh, Davy Crockett Branch, which I found is not actually open in January.
Okay, so then you don't have that.
No.
But you would have that in general. They're the actual Disney hotels. Like they are owned by Disney. These other hotels, which are cheaper, are what they call partner hotels, sister hotels.
Yep. So they may be Disney themed, still, but not as much as a proper Disney hotel.
Basically, Disney representative has gone round to said hotels and gone like, if we give you this amount of money, or would cut a deal with you for this if you basically meet our standards. And it's just a cheaper way of doing it. I mean, if you want the whole Disney experience, there's nothing that beats a Disney hotel. But if you want to go and you can't afford Disney hotel, which honestly I've seen the prices, this is the best way to go. And this, like, to be fair, we stayed in a Disney hotel, but we only literally walked in to sleep. Like, we got up.
Yeah.
I mean, we had breakfast as well because we ate in there, but we got up, we ate, we was in the park all day. By the time we'd actually come back to the hotel, we got washed up in our pajamas and we were all out, like, literally. So it kind of pros and cons. But anyway, this is the cheapest way of doing it.
Yeah, so obviously we're looking at cheapest way. If you was to do everything separate, like book your hotel, book your park tickets, and then book your travel separately, what we found is with park tickets, you can only buy 4 days as a bulk. And then if you wanted a 5th day, you can buy that separate 5th day, but it would be dearer just for that 1 day rather than buying.
Yeah, because if you buy 4, then they take some. So say the tickets are like £60 a ticket or something.
Yeah, I think in January they're about £60 a day.
A day per person. I think, is that for 2 parks? Is that for?
That's for both parks.
Both
yeah,
parks.
both parks.
So say that. So that's £60 a day for 4 days. That's £240. Quick maths. And maybe they take €40 off, £40 off. But if you do the 5th day, which normal people, that's the wrong word to say. Normally, if you're going to do a holiday like that, it's normally 5 days, between 4 and 5 days. And I think that's how they get you with the ticket prices, because you have to buy that one separately.
Yeah, unless you wanted to leave that 5th day and just travel home. Like, take it relaxed, maybe go into the Disney Village, do a bit of shopping, and then just get prepared to travel home. Also,
I will say with one of the cons, so to speak, with the partner hotels, although it's like a Disney experience, you don't get magic hour. I mean, if you've got your pass, which you'd know all this anyway, but you don't get magic hour. But you do get transfers from the hotel to the park, so they have got a free bus on.
Yeah, free transfers from the partner hotels to the park. So, doing it separately. If you was to book a hotel, 5 days, 4 nights, we found the cheapest Disney hotel was the Hotel Cheyenne, which is...
It's Cowboy.
It's Cowboy. It's Toy Story.
Toy Story.
So that was coming out for the 4 nights, 5 days, £469.
Now, please don't forget, this is just the hotel. This is not park tickets. Yeah. This is not food included. This is just your rooms.
Booking it like that, you can choose an option to have breakfast included, but this price doesn't include
all
that.
These prices are just your basic room. We're trying to find the cheapest way for you.
Yeah. If you was to book a partner hotel, just looking, the cheapest is actually the B&B hotel, which I think is one that's a little bit further out, but it still has the transfer. That was coming out at £410 for the 4 nights, 5 days. Once again, didn't include breakfast. So
if you download, I'll see if we can put it up somewhere, but if you download the actual Disney app, Disneyland Paris app, sorry, you can actually see the partner hotels on there. I'm sure you can.
Not on the app. You can on their website.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You can look at it all on their website, and look at some of the hotels. Even like we said earlier, we used Expedia for some of this because the pricing for the hotels seemed a little bit cheaper than actually going through Disneyland themselves. But once again, this is just a rough pricing of what it is. So other than that, What have we got? We've got packages. We can go through packages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
if you want the actual Disney experience, like
Yeah.
if you've never been, you want your kids to have that actual Disney experience, then the package is the only way to go, really.
yeah, with the packages, you're looking at getting the park tickets. You'll get 5 days. You'll get the Disney hotel.
Oh, we'll add in though, travel isn't included. Like you can't. There isn't a package that you can get traveling.
On the website, it does say you can get the train, but when I tried to do it for our holiday, it just sent me to the Eurostar website.
Okay, so this is for hotel and for park tickets, all
Yeah.
in one thing.
Hotel and park tickets. So what I found again, the cheapest Disney hotel actually was the Hotel Santa Fe, which is Cars themed. Yeah, and that was obviously tickets to both parks, 5 days. The hotel was £1,320. Once again, that doesn't include any food. That is park tickets and your accommodation.
Right. Also, it doesn't matter what hotel you, a Disney hotel. In fact, if you're not staying in, to be fair, you can go and book in any of the Disney hotel restaurants. You can go into the shops. You can go into all the bars. You can't go into like the swimming pools and gyms and whatnot. But you basically can have a proper look, mooch, around any of the hotels. The Santa Fe and Cheyenne are literally opposite each other, and they're behind Sequoia Lodge, and it's like a 15-minute walk, if you can, walk through past the lake, past the other hotels, which you could pop in and have a look.
Through the village.
And through the village. But there is a bus, it comes over it. Well, in each foyer, it will have a timetable of all the buses when they come. But there's about every 15 minutes. I don't think it's very long.
Yeah, every 15-20 minutes.
That takes you into the train station by the village that you walk into the park.
Yeah. So Santa Fe, cheapest on that respect. And to be honest, through the packages, that was the cheapest, even through with the partner hotels. The cheapest partner hotel was coming out at 1,415, and that does state that it is breakfast included, and that was at the B&B hotel again.
Sequoia Lodge, not Sequoia Lodge, sorry. Santa Fe and Cheyenne are 3-star, but there are plenty. I mean, we haven't stayed in them, to be fair, not yet. But there are plenty of other YouTube videos. Sam for God has stayed there. I think she stays in them quite a lot. So there'll be videos of the actual hotel rooms. I'd say they're basic. They're clean, or they look clean. The theming is lovely. And at the end of the day, as I said, all you're going to do is sleep in the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Now, the food thing, when we done our package, we went at the same time. We went beginning of February. But when we did our package, we made sure we had some kind of food included, because the other expense you are not going to get away with is how much Disney food and drinks cost. There's nothing you can do. Like, if you go into the parks, it is what it is. And sometimes you look at it and think, oh my God. But it is what it is. So we got breakfast included, which was all you can eat. We stayed in what they call Golden Forest, so which included breakfast, which is a buffet style breakfast, all you can eat. It also included snacks in an evening, like finger food, like sandwiches and breads and cheeses, and also like drinks, bottles of water, Cokes, and so on and so forth, like whatever snacks. So that means we only had to pay for like one meal. We did go to a couple of restaurants.
Yeah.
And also, to be fair, we wasn't really hungry, but like.
Yeah, I would say value on money, I would say, would probably be your all you can eat restaurants, because there's so much variety that there's guaranteed something that you'd be able to eat, and something that you find that you would like.
Again, under 3s, you wouldn't they don't charge you for it. They expect basically the baby to eat off the, on the website it says mother's plate, but you know what I mean, like an adult's plate.
Just thinking of that as well. In the restaurants with children, anyone over the age of 11 is classed as an adult,
which can be pricey.
Yeah, which sometimes can be double a child's cost.
We looked about going next year, but there's only going to be 6 of us, and because we were worried about running out of money, we was looking about adding food on. We was looking to stay at the Cheyenne.
The Cheyenne, yeah.
With the meal deal included, which means you can have breakfast and then you can choose whether you have lunch or dinner at any of the restaurants. Like, it doesn't, like, all through the park, and it's included in the price. But you can only have one lunch or dinner. So for us, it's worth it, because I think it was like an extra just £800-900 on top of our holiday.
I do have some prices for that as well.
But it was costing us £300 when we were eating out a day.
To go to a restaurant, it was like €300 just for the 6 of us to eat. So
although our prices that we are giving you does not include the food unless specified, if you are big eaters, I'll say big eaters, but if there is a lot of you and your concern is to make sure that everyone's had enough and you can't afford, like we paid for 6 hot dogs at €80 or something, if you can't afford that, then look into the food section, but we can't do that for you, kind of thing. So that was the hotels, that's the travels.
So right, just looking at the notes because I've got lots of figures. Running through the packages. Right, so to fly with the park tickets just for the 4 days, staying in the B&B hotel with your park tickets and your transfers from the Paris airport to your hotel, total price come out at $1,938. So that was the flight for the 4 days, B&B hotel, park tickets and transfers. Obviously that doesn't include any transfer you get from your house to your airport, so that would be another cost. So to fly, again, with doing a Disney package, staying in the Santa Fe hotel with your flights and your transfers, that came out at £2,020. So it is cheaper if you do the 4 days and stay in the B&B hotel. So it's about about £80 difference in that. Looking at doing the Eurostar, Eurotunnel, Eurostar. I am right.
Eurostar, guys.
Too much going on. What did I say? Eurostar. Right, Eurostar. Right, obviously you have to, however you're going to get to St. Pancras, that is an extra cost. But for your Eurostar tickets, staying in the B&B hotel and your park tickets, that come out at £1,670. So considerably cheaper than to fly. Once again, doing the Eurostar on a package through Disney, was staying in the Santa Fe hotel, obviously your Eurostar tickets and the extra train. I can't forget that, because obviously you've got to change it to Lille, so that's included. That package was $1,752. So another sort of £8 difference. So with doing the Eurostar, Eurotunnel. Eurotunnel and driving. We found it was the cheapest way to do it. Obviously, it may not be.
Some people can't drive, so
Yeah.
some people don't have that choice.
You may not be able to drive, so you may not have that choice. But once again, driving, doing it all separately, staying in the B&B hotel, your park tickets, the Eurotunnel, and probably I think I did put some fuel in, maybe £60 worth of fuel.
Which would also depend on your car and what your car consumes.
It would depend on your car. But that was coming out at £1,441.
Do also have to add that this is going, obviously you leave from Folkestone to get into Calais, and from Calais to Disneyland Paris is a 3-hour drive. And if you're fine with that, you're fine with that. Like, it's not an issue to us.
Yeah.
But if you've got little ends, or if you, obviously they're not on the wrong side of the road, they're on their right side of the road, but they're on our wrong side of the road, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, if you've never driven abroad before, it can be a little daunting.
And plus, we've just made a video actually about all the laws and rules and regulations that France has about driving in their country, which there'll be somewhere after.
Some do's and don'ts, and generally what you need to have in your car and stuff.
Because they're quite strict.
Yeah. Right, so with that, driving, doing a package through Disney, staying at the Santa Fe Hotel, the Eurotunnel, and a little bit of fuel, was coming out at $1,523. So with that, I would say driving, trying to do it all separately, was obviously the cheapest. The dearest would be to fly.
Which, to be fair, no one does. But then it also goes if certain airlines have like a deal on at the time. If you've got miles, there are ways around it. But this is what we could find that would cater to us.
Yeah, there are a couple of sites that you may be able to get some Disney packages cheap. I know that I've seen some voucher deals recently. But obviously, as we're a big family, it doesn't cater to us, but it would cater to a family of 4. But once again, with these pricing, it does not include food. So we've got some pricing for food, which we have here. If you was to do half board, which is obviously breakfast.
Is this through a Disney Park hotel, or is this through any hotel?
This you can only do this, I believe, if you're doing the package.
Okay, so for the Disney hotel.
If you was to do the package deal through the website, you can choose your food. If you're doing it all separately, you can't. So doing a package, doing half board, which is your breakfast, your lunch or dinner, in I think there's 32 restaurants you can choose from. You do have to book. Some do get booked up pretty quick, so you can also do that on the.
We booked a year in advance in some of the restaurants, like because Pim's had just opened and that. So we'd literally booked it as soon as we can, and some of it is a year in advance. Oh, I will also, while I remember, if you book through Disney itself, so if you're going to the Santa Fe or wherever, if you're going to a Disney hotel, when you book through them, they give you 5 payments. So like your whole holiday comes to a package, you pay your deposit, and then they give you 5 different times that you can finish off. Like we booked ours in February. Our last payment that we were allowed to make was the beginning of December for the next February.
So they let you pay in installments, 5 installments after your deposit, which it can be helpful.
No, it was for us.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we wouldn't have been able to do it, to be fair.
Right, so food. So doing the half board for the 5 days was £654. Obviously, you can only do that through the package deals. Doing it separate, you can't. Full board, so breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You can go to obviously all the restaurants. Like I said, I think there's 32. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, £908, which I don't think that's bad.
Again, as I said, Disney itself, inside Disney, is expensive. And if you work out how, I mean, that sounds like a lot of money, and it is, there's no way of getting away with it, it's a lot of money. But if you think that you're going to be spending, I don't know, £200 for, say, for four, just over £200 with drinks each day, euros, each day for your food, and you're there for 4 days, you might as well, and that's just one meal, you might as well pay the extra £900 and have all your meals all week, including drinks. Because I know mostly
it includes one drink.
Well, it includes one drink.
One drink each.
And obviously, child's got separate. And obviously, again, if your child is under the age of 3, they don't class that, like they can eat off your plate.
Yeah, obviously over 11,
they're classed as an adult, which is shocking because he's 10, but he eats like a church mouse. But it's still a lot of money. Even a child, all you can eat is 35 quid, 35 euros, sorry, which is still a lot of money. Really, it's still a lot of money. Because if your kids are like my kids, I want that. You put it on their plate. They've had one bite of everything. I don't want that. I'm not hungry. And then 10 minutes later, they're hungry, but you're already out. But again, these are just figures. These are the figures that we found. This is the cheapest way we have found for next year in February. Now, January, sorry. Well, between January and February, it's pretty much the same. Yeah. Now, also, the cons with that is it's going to be cold. Like, it was -7 when we went. But although it was cold, it was jumper weather, jacket weather, it wasn't as cold as it feels like here. And I know that sounds silly, but it was warmer when we got home, but I was colder here than I was there. It's weird. But also the pros, it's out of season, so there isn't as many people there. Like, we managed to get, not that there is people there, but it's not like it would be you're pushing past, you're waiting in a queue for 3 or 4 hours, unless you try to get on Crush's Coaster. Yeah. It was less people. It was cold, but there was less people. Also, the cons of going in winter or out of season is that's when they take the time to do anything that they need to do to the rides.
Yeah, if they do any maintenance, they can close the rides. We had a couple that were closed for maintenance when we went.
Oh, we managed to get on Thunder Mountain. We'd managed to get on Thunder Mountain, but the day after it was closed, wasn't it, for maintenance? It was closed for the rest of the holiday. And the Small World's been closed for over a year.
Yeah, over a year. But
I didn't even think
that should be open by the time this video.
There will be a video on that because we're going for the day, so we're going to be doing that. But yeah, any shops, like they were doing a load of work in the Disney Village. They've closed a load of different shops down and restaurants and making them into other things.
I think there was a couple of shops that they were renovating in Main Street as well.
Yeah.
So those should be open.
You might be able to look on the website, or you can look on the website, and they might be able to find out what, if anything, is going to be closed around that time. The cheapest way, regardless if you're doing a package or if you are doing it separately, the cheapest way to do it is to do it in advance. On the Disney website, you can only go up to a year in advance.
I will say you can't do that with the Eurostar or Eurotunnel.
No.
You can only go, I think with the Eurotunnel it is about 6 months, and I think it's the same with the Eurostar.
So then I know we booked the holiday, and then we was like, oh right, we got to book like travel, and then we couldn't book it because we'd booked the holiday a year in advance. And then I was like, well, so we can't get on there because how are we going to get France? Like, it isn't, if you're like me, that's how my mind works. I start panicking because if it's not all there, I start panicking. But it worked out okay in the end. If you want, and by the way, even in January, February time, they still do parades. They still do all the things that they would do in any other time. It's just slightly colder. But yeah, that is the cheapest way. Now, obviously, we've rambled, gone back and forth, but they will be on screen, or would have been on screen.
Yeah. We'll put on screen. I'll write it all up and put it on screen all the costing and like the details and stuff.
And again, this is for a family of 4.
Yeah.
This is what we have calculated. We are now 1st of May, 2023. Anything can happen in the next couple of months. This is literally the cheapest that we found it at this particular time. And a family of 4, they class as 2 adults and 2 children, and you can get, or maybe if it's multiple births, like if you've got twins under the age of 2, they don't class them in the, you can still take them, but they don't class them as children, if you get what I mean. I hope this helps. If you have any questions, or if we can help you with anything, just leave a comment down below and we will get back to you as soon as we see it. And I hope this is helpful in any kind of way. So we hope to see you again soon.